Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont, under circumstances that were concealed from him during his early years, and from the beginning, his life followed a path marked by secrecy and instability that would later become part of the public record. He spent his childhood believing that his grandparents were his parents and that his biological mother was his sister, an arrangement maintained quietly within the household. The home was orderly and restrained, and daily life followed predictable routines. There were no public signs of disturbance, and the boy learned early to adapt to expectations without drawing attention. In the early 1950s, his mother moved with him to Tacoma, Washington, seeking a new start. She later married a man who became Ted's stepfather, and the family settled into what appeared to be a conventional suburban life. Ted attended local schools and blended easily with classmates. Teachers described him as polite and quiet. He did not stand out academically or socially, and there were no official records of serious behavioral problems. He kept to himself, observed others carefully, and avoided conflict. As he entered adolescence, his interests shifted toward politics and public affairs. He followed national events closely and developed opinions that reflected mainstream views of the time. He read newspapers, watched political broadcasts, and spoke confidently about current issues when given the opportunity. After graduating from high school, he enrolled in college, but struggled to maintain a clear academic direction. He transferred between institutions and changed his field of study multiple times, moving between psychology and law-related interests without completing a degree during these early years. Despite this lack of consistency, he cultivated an image of ambition and reliability. He dressed neatly and spoke in a measured, articulate manner. During the late 1960s, he volunteered for political campaigns, working for local Republican candidates. He answered phones, organized materials, and participated in meetings. His demeanor fit well within structured environments, and he earned the trust of colleagues who viewed him as capable and composed. During this period, his personal relationships were marked by instability. He entered romantic relationships that began with intensity but ended abruptly. Friends noticed patterns of emotional distance and withdrawal, but these behaviors were not considered alarming at the time. By the early 1970s, he was living in the Pacific Northwest, holding various jobs while continuing his studies. He volunteered at a crisis hotline, where he handled calls from individuals in distress. He followed procedures carefully and appeared calm under pressure, reinforcing his public image as dependable and controlled. In January 1974, the first disappearance later linked to him occurred in Seattle. A young woman vanished from her apartment during the night, leaving behind limited evidence of an intrusion. The case initially appeared isolated. Within weeks, another woman disappeared under similar circumstances, followed by additional cases involving young women, many of them college students. They vanished from public places or residences during routine activities, often without witnesses. As investigators compared reports, a pattern began to emerge. Witnesses described encounters with a man who appeared injured and asked for help carrying items to a car. He was described as polite, well-spoken, and non-threatening. Several witnesses recalled that he introduced himself using the same first name. The vehicle associated with these encounters was described as a small, light-colored car that blended easily into everyday traffic. Law enforcement issued warnings and circulated composite sketches, but progress remained slow. The lack of physical evidence and the common appearance of the vehicle complicated the investigation. By the summer of 1974, similar disappearances were reported in Utah and Colorado, suggesting a pattern that crossed state lines. The geographic spread indicated frequent travel and careful timing. Friends and acquaintances of Ted Bundy began to notice similarities between public descriptions and his behavior. His name matched the one mentioned by witnesses. He owned a vehicle consistent with reports. He traveled often and could not always account for his whereabouts. Several individuals contacted authorities, providing information that placed him under scrutiny.
In August 1974, a young woman in Utah survived an attempted abduction and provided detailed account of her attacker. Her description closely matched existing reports. Based on her testimony and additional evidence, Ted Bundy was arrested and charged with kidnapping. Searches of his residence and vehicle uncovered items that strengthened the case against him. Although much of the evidence was circumstantial, it was sufficient to proceed. He was convicted and sentenced to prison. While awaiting further legal proceedings, he was transferred between facilities and granted limited privileges related to his defense. In 1977, during a court appearance in Colorado, he escaped custody by exploiting a lapse in supervision. His disappearance prompted a nationwide search, and his image appeared across media outlets. After weeks on the run, he was recaptured and returned to jail. Security measures were increased, yet later that year he escaped again from a county facility. This time he traveled across several states and eventually reached Florida, using aliases and public transportation to avoid detection. In January 1978, he entered a university residence in Florida during the early morning hours and attacked multiple occupants. 2 young women were killed, and others were seriously injured. The attack shocked the community and intensified the search for the suspect. Weeks later, a 12-year-old girl disappeared and was later found deceased. Evidence linked the crime to the same individual. Ted Bundy was arrested after a traffic stop and charged with multiple counts of murder. The trials that followed drew national attention. He chose to represent himself during parts of the proceedings, questioning witnesses and addressing the court directly. Despite these efforts, the evidence against him was substantial, including eyewitness testimony and physical findings. He was convicted and sentenced to death. Over the next several years, he filed numerous appeals, delaying the execution. During this period, he remained in custody, moving between facilities as legal processes continued. In his final days, he provided information about additional crimes, offering details that clarified aspects of the investigation. On January 24, 1989, the sentence was carried out at a Florida state prison. The execution ended a case that had spanned more than a decade and multiple states. The documented sequence of events began with a concealed birth and progressed through years of movement, disappearance, arrest, escape, and trial. The official record remains preserved through court documents and investigative files, forming a continuous account of actions and outcomes that followed one after another without interruption. Thank you for watching this video on Voices of Crime. If you found it informative, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more true crime stories, leave a comment with your thoughts, and continue with another video from our channel to explore more real cases.